Before we had kids, there was one thing that Dan and I loved to do, and that was to go hiking in the English countryside. Now, after having kids, we did try to maintain this, but it did get quite difficult, especially because a lot of the paths that we would go on weren't very buggy friendly or child friendly, or we would go on like 10-mile hikes, which obviously a young child cannot do. It's not to say that every now and then we don't push our limits and still try and do a countryside walk. I mean, you just can't beat views like this. And so on this day, we took our newborn, our toddler, and my in-laws on a walk, which was in the Surrey Hills, and it was about 3 miles long. Now, this was titled as easy on our walking app, but I would say that it probably was more medium with kids. The clue was in the title. It's called Surrey Hills for a reason, as we did have to climb up a few hills. But overall, the walk was great, and somehow I ended up with a pocket full of pebbles. Thank you, Finley. Following the tradition of our nature walks, it's always finished off with a pub lunch. We went to the Ramblers Rest, which we've been to a few times. The whole place is very much giving British countryside pub. Lots of exposed beams and different types of wood all over the place. We sat outside in the garden because why wouldn't we on a day like this? If there's one thing that our newborn loves to do is to sleep on the move. Even though it wasn't a flat path, she slept through the whole nature walk and for most of the time that we were at the pub. I was multitasking and writing our food shop list whilst we were here. Finley was doing, well, not really sure what Finley was doing. We definitely worked up our appetites on that walk, and for my meal I went for battered fish and chips. My mother-in-law got a very fancy salad. Dan's stepdad went for sausage and mash, and Dan got a ham, egg and chips, which is a meal that took me a minute to get my head around when I first heard of it. Finley is a boy after my own heart and got a mini fish and chips for his lunch. The whole experience was finished off with a tasty brownie.